Bonjour tout le monde. Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's a pleasure to be with you today. My name is Jesula, as you know already. And we want to say hello to each and every one of you. Bonjour tout le monde. C'est un plaisir pour nous ensemble avec vous. Non pas c'est Jésus là, comme on connaît déjà. Et nous là pour nous capables de porter émission par là pour qui c'est Pstars, Family Support. Mais pour aujourd'hui là, comme à l'ordinaire, nous toujours qu'on gagne un intervenant et gagne une voix que ou habitué avec lui déjà. I know you guys are used to hear that voice, Miss Julie, and she's the one who's with us today. Je dis nous allons parler de dépression. Alors qui sa dépression est et comment que ou capable aider tête ou avec dépression. Comme nous connaissons déjà, dépression c'est un bagage qui a fait la une ou du moins qui fait la ravage dans le monde là parce que nous capable dire qui monde qui va gagner dépression parce que c'est comme si son bagage tout le monde gagne face avec situation économique, situation familiale, situation et tout côté au passé dans le voisinage, tellement de stress, tellement gagné et bien ça qui est les problèmes là et que il vient permettre que nous pas qu'à vivre en paix, il vient permettre que nous gagner des déformations qu'a fait dans corps, dans brain, dans l'esprit et qui agit des fois sous corps. Et de ce fait, c'est une raison qui fait que Pstars, nous là pour nous aider. We here to help you. We here to look for the people who can help, who are willing to help, so they can come in and then help you. And I hope you guys gonna have a good time with Miss Julie and myself. And I wanna say good morning to Miss Julie. Good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing just fine. It's a pleasure to be with you today.
Well, the pleasure is all mine to be here. And yes, once again, my name is Julie. I am a little background from me for the ones who don't know. I've been a registered nurse for about 16 years now, and I'm also a licensed psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner.
Ça veut dire que we know more than I didn't know that. I know you have a major. I know you are a nurse practitioner, but I didn't know exactly. It's good to know, and you know what? I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you, and I want to thank you and thank your parents because they did a good job. Because now you know exactly what you're doing. Because now you can see how the world is, and then you grown woman, you know what to do. But before they have to carry your hands to take your hands, and to guide you to where you're supposed to go. So they did a good job.
Oh, thank you very much, which is true. They did do a great job.
Yes. Okay, so it's your time. I'm with you, and then I'm gonna tell you today, Mr. Priya is not here today for a reason. He's not here. I will tell you in private. Okay.
Okay.
So he's not gonna be here with us, and I already miss him already. But I know we're gonna have a good time.
Okay. Yes, we will.
Yes.
Okay. So depression. The reason why I wanted to talk about depression is because I know we are in December. This is the last month of the year. And this is a time naturally we reflect on the year, what we have done, what we have not done. And this is a time that naturally everybody is trying to conclude everything. You know, finish up everything that you need to finish up. You know, and this is a time to celebrate, too, because of the holidays. You know, there's holiday parties at work, holiday parties and events at churches, with our families, with our friends. And a lot of us, there's things that we have to finish before the end of the year. Some people, they have to pay their taxes before the end of the year. There's other things that's going on before the end of the year we have to take care of at the end. But this is also the time of the year where depression is actually pretty high. This between the months of October to February, depression is the highest when it comes to people. Depression is the highest between the month of October to February. Now, Depression there's two things that I want to discuss today. There's depression and there's depression disorder. Depression is just feeling sad. And it's okay because naturally we experience sadness, right? But depression disorder is the disease from depression. And that is more extensive. So depression is once again feeling sad. So it's normal to feel sad when you are faced with difficulty life situations, like losing your job or losing a relationship. That's normal and that is natural. But clinical depression is different. Clinical depression is when there's persistent sadness that lasts at least for 2 weeks. And that's what clinical depression is. Okay. So when I was saying how this is a time of the year depression is very high, there are states like, New Jersey or Michigan or Seattle. Those type of places around this time of the year is much darker. It rains more. It's colder, and people don't go outside as often. They don't experience sunlight, and therefore, as a result, they experience depression. That's what you call seasonal depression. When this is the time of the year, because there's no sunlight, they get depressed. Fortunately for us in South Florida, we don't experience seasonal depression because it's sunlight year-round. But for our loved ones in other states, and those states where it's more dark and around this time of the year, they experience all the seasons, there's more rain, more cold, they can experience some depression around this time. So even though for us in Florida we may not experience seasonal depression, but it's good to have that information to know about our friends and our families that live in other states or what they could be going through. Now, clinical depression is also known as major depressive disorder. It's a mental health condition that causes persistent low or depressed mood and a low interest in activities that once made you happy. Clinical depression also affects how you sleep. It affects your appetite. It even affects how you think. And these symptoms must be present for at least 2 weeks. Clinical depression is a chronic condition, but it usually occurs in episodes, like it lasts for several weeks or even several months. You'll likely be more to have more than one episode in your lifetime. But this is different from persistent depressive disorder. Persistent depressive disorder must last, once again, at least for 2 weeks, and it's more consistent, more persistent. There are different types of depression. We talked about seasonal depression already, from people who live in upstate like New York, Boston, New Jersey, out west, Michigan and Seattle, where they experience seasonal depression. There's prenatal depression and postpartum depression. That's depression when women experience that when they're pregnant. They experience depression during pregnancy, and they even experience depression after pregnancy. And there's atypical depression, which means that it's a different type of depression. It could happen in young adults. It can happen in older adults. And there's other clinical problems or other clinical presentation that can partner with depression. For example, people who use substance use, such as people who smoke a lot, drink alcohol a lot, and people who use drugs are more likely to be depressed. People who have anxiety are more likely to be depressed. People who have panic attacks are more likely to be depressed. And once again, there's a difference between depression and depression disorder. Depression is natural when you feel sad, when you lose something, or when something changes. It's normal to feel sad. But when you have depression disorder is when you have more symptoms and it lasts for at least 2 weeks. Now, what are these symptoms that must be present to last at least 2 weeks? It's feeling very sad, empty, or hopeless. For children, because children can have depression as well, they usually demonstrate it a little bit differently. They tend to be more mad. They tend to not want to do their homework. They dislike school. They have an attitude. That's how children present their symptoms of depression. Other symptoms of depression is low interest in things and activities that used to bring you joy. For example, if before you used to like a certain type of music, or maybe you used to like to go dancing, you don't go dancing anymore. If you used to spend time with friends and you used to go out with your friends, you don't want to spend time with your friends anymore. You just want to stay at home. That could be signs of depression. Another sign of depression is with your appetite. It can increase your appetite, but most common, it decreases your appetite. You don't want to eat anymore. You don't even enjoy eating anymore. It's like someone has to force you to eat. Another symptom is slow speech or slow movement. Slow speech and slow movement is actually partnered with decreased concentration. Depression symptoms can cause you to, it's harder for you to concentrate, to think. Sometimes when someone is talking to you, you're hearing the words, but you can't process what they're saying. It's like you're not here. And it's like your mind is somewhere else. And when someone asks you to make a decision, it's hard for you to make a decision. It's like, okay, well, I need to go buy rice. Am I going to go to Publix or am I going to go to Winn-Dixie? I can't make a decision. Or if it's, what am I going to wear to work tomorrow? Am I going to wear blue or am I going to wear gray? I can't make that decision. Or sometimes when someone's talking to you and they're like, Julie, are you listening? It's like you're not even listening to what the person is saying. You're not concentrating. Other symptoms of depression is having low energy, being fatigued all the time. You want to sleep all the time. You always want to nap. You just don't have any energy to do anything. Other feelings of, other symptoms of depression is feeling worthless or feeling guilty. Always the thoughts of feeling guilty in your head. You feel guilty, maybe you didn't do something. You feel guilty, maybe you should have done something. and the thoughts continues in your head, continues back and forth in your head, and it doesn't go away. And the last symptom of depression, which is very severe, is the thought of suicide. The thought of killing yourself, or even hurting yourself. That is very severe. Now, if you have thoughts of suicide, or if you know anybody else that have thoughts or feelings of suicide, this is very serious, and it should not be ignored. And there's even a phone number that you can dial. The number is 988, for anybody that may need help if they feel like they want to kill themselves. All right. Now the causes. People ask all the time, what is the cause of depression? Well, I want to go over 4 causes of depression. The first cause of depression is genetics. Now, genetics is a strong cause of depression because if you have your mother or if you have your father that is depressed, you are at a higher chance of being depressed. Even if you have a brother or sister that is depressed. Based on research, if you have a family history of depression, you have up to 50% of experiencing depression. And the second cause of depression is stress. So, of course, we cannot control our genetics. We cannot. But stress has to do with our environment. And especially if we have a stressful environment, a stressful life, and we have genetics, meaning a family member that has depression, then it puts us at a higher risk. And I think with lifestyle stressors, we may be familiar with them, unfortunately. But stress in life is a cause of it as well. The third cause is the third cause is a medical condition. If you have a heart condition, any heart disease, or diabetes, obesity, or any neurodegenerative diseases such as dementia, Alzheimer's, even Parkinson's. Those are also causes of depression. When we are battling with disease like heart disease or strokes or diabetes, it's stressful, and it's hard, So, of course, it can cause depression of just dealing with our medical conditions. Our fourth cause I want to discuss is called neurotransmitters. So, neurotransmitters are electrical transmission in our brain. There's 3 of them that's in our brain. And these neurotransmitters, they're in everybody's brain. They are in our brains. But it is a chemical imbalance that causes the depression. And I want to give you the names of them. There are 3. The first one is called serotonin. The second one is called dopamine. And the third one is called norepinephrine. Now, each of these neurotransmitters are responsible for our mood. When we are very happy, we're at a party or we're with loved ones, we're with our family, and we are very happy, our neurotransmitters are high. They're high because we're happy. When we're dancing, they're high. But when we're sad and we're depressed, our neurotransmitters are low. And it's just like, imagine like a gas tank. When the gas tank is full, we can drive anywhere we want. But when the gas tank is low, we're not going anywhere. Or if we do go somewhere, we don't go very far. So that's how the neurotransmitters are. Sometimes they're high, and sometimes they're low. Okay? Diagnosis. So, for people who feel depressed, they feel very sad. The way to get a diagnosis is to go to our doctor. You can first go to your primary care doctor and express to them about how you feel depressed, and then how they diagnose you with depression. They ask you questions about your symptoms. They evaluate your medical history, and they will do an exam, a depression exam, to see if you are truly depressed. Your primary care doctor can prescribe you medication for your depression, or they can refer you to go see a psychiatrist. And a psychiatrist is a doctor that treats mental illness. And with the psychiatrist, that is their specialty, and they do the same thing, where they prescribe you medication, they evaluate how well you're doing, and then they help you with that. The psychiatrist helps with depression, anxiety, but they also can help with other mental health problems that we may not know we have, such as bipolar, such as ADHD. There's a lot of other mental illness or mental health conditions that we may have that we may not know that we have. And psychiatrist helps with that. I know with medication such as antidepressants, which is used to treat depression, it is very effective. When the doctor prescribes this medication, first off, it takes a week for it to begin to work. A week after taking it for it to begin to work. You have to be patient with the medication for it to work. And then this type of medication is not the medication to begin taking it and then just to stop taking it when you feel like, okay, I feel better, I'm not depressed anymore, I'm going to stop taking it. No. So what the medications do, remember how we talked about neurotransmitters? The neurotransmitters are chemicals in our brain, just like a gas tank. When it's high, we're happy. But when it's low, we're sad and depressed. So what the medication does is that it increases your neurotransmitters in your brain. It's the gasoline that's poured in the gas tank to keep it high. So when you stop taking your medication, what's going to happen? Your gas tank is going to go low. And as a result, you experience the symptoms. And sometimes you experience the symptoms even worse. And that's what the medication does. I know some people, or many people, especially in our community, they don't like medications naturally. And especially for medication for depression, in our community, we don't like medication for depression. That's not the only treatment for depression. There's also therapy. You can seek out a therapist, a professional therapist, Many health insurance cover, they pay for you to see a therapist. You can see a therapist in your church with your pastor. That's a form of therapy too. Because therapy is just talking to someone and allowing that person to help you with processing or going through your problems in life. And that's what therapy is. And there's different type of therapy. And that's another treatment option for depression. Now, prevention. How can we prevent depression? To be honest with you, it's important to try to prevent anything. Either if it's high blood pressure, diabetes, or as we are discussing today, depression. So, the things that we should practice to help prevent depression is getting good quality sleep. Make sure you sleep well. If you work at night, make sure you sleep good during the day. If you work during the day, make sure you sleep good at night. Try to practice good, healthy sleeping patterns. For example, if you're finding trouble to sleep very good, try to take a nice shower before you go to sleep. Try not to eat something so heavy before going to sleep. Try not to be on your cell phone before going to sleep. Put yourself to sleep like a child. Put yourself to sleep. Turn off the lights. Make sure you're comfortable in bed. And give yourself some time. Give your mind time to unwind before you go to sleep. Nice and calm. Sometimes you can put on nice, relaxing music, to help calm your mind before you go to sleep. And these things can help give you it can help you put you to sleep, and it could also help keep you to sleep. Another thing to do to prevent depression is managing your stress. That's easier said than done. Because who wants stress? Who asks for stress? We don't ask for stress, but life, there's stress. And a lot of our stress is things we cannot control. But just because we cannot control what happens to us does not mean we cannot manage how we react, how we respond. So I do encourage people of managing their stress, meaning manage your temper, manage your anger, manage your anxiety. And that can mean talking to a good friend, trusting a friend, and talking with them and helping and allow them to help you with that. Speaking to a therapist, either a licensed therapist through your insurance or maybe someone in your church, a therapist in your church. Practice instead of when something gets you so angry. For people who have high tempers, instead of reacting quick and screaming and yelling, take a moment. When something is stressful in front of you, for example, an argument, if you're arguing with someone and they're saying things that's upsetting you, and that's natural, they're saying something that's upsetting you, before you respond, take a moment, walk away, take a breath, take some deep breaths in and out of your mouth, in and out of your nose, and count from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And try to count backwards And this will help decrease your stress inside of your body stress, because it won't stop what's happening on the outside. But it helps manage your blood pressure. It helps manage your breathing. It helps manage your chemicals in your brains, the neurotransmitters. And also think about what's happening in front of you. Think about where you are. And think about the best response, the best reaction for that moment. Sometimes, if you need some time to yourself to decompress, take time away to decompress. And these can help you manage your stress. Another way to help prevent depression is also managing your medical condition. If you have high blood pressure, take your medication. Monitor your blood pressure. Make sure if you're a diabetic, take your medication. Manage your blood sugar. Check your blood sugar every day. Okay? Manage your medical condition. Make sure you go see the doctor. Make sure you tell the doctor everything that's happening with you. And when the doctor recommends a medication or treatment for your blood pressure, your cholesterol, your diabetes, take your medication. But in the same case, eat differently. Eat healthier, exercise a little bit, start walking 30 minutes a day. Do that 3 times a week. You know, now that the weather is colder outside, it's very beautiful outside. Go walk around for 30 minutes. While you're walking, listen to some music in your ears. Listen to a prayer in your ears. Watch a little YouTube if you like watching YouTube or watching WhatsApp. But instead of watching it sitting down, go outside and go walk outside and watch your YouTube. Go to the park. Now, those are exercises. Those are things that can help prevent depression. And for people who drink a lot of alcohol, who may smoke a lot, who may do drugs, other type of drugs, you know, decrease those things. The best thing to do is to stop them. But before getting to a stop, let's slow down. If you used to drink a lot before, try to diminish your drinking, okay? Slowly, same thing with smoking. And also, allow your friends and family that you trust to help you through that process, because that's not an easy process in itself. So the prognosis for clinical depression on a few factors includes how bad it is, the severity, how it's treated or how it's not treated, or if you have any mental health or medical conditions. That's what determines the prognosis. It determines how bad it is, and it determines how bad it can be. The good news is that clinical depression is one of the most treatable mental health conditions. Approximately 80 to 90% of people with this condition who seek proper treatment eventually respond very well, and I do mean very well, to treatment. And what are some possible complications to clinical depression? Some people with clinical depression may experience anxiety. They also may experience start drinking a lot of alcohol, start smoking a lot, or start even doing other drugs. Those are possible complications of depression. Also, drinking too much caffeine, too much coffee. Not just 1 cup in the morning, but you're drinking 3 to 4 cups a day. That's also another possible complication. Clinical depression can interfere with your daily functioning, with your quality of life. And that's important for us to put effort into improving the quality of life, day by day, week by week, and eventually month by month, to improve the quality, make our life much healthier and also happier. And once again, there's a lot of conditions, medical conditions, um, that can worsen depression, like we discussed, depression, hypertension, any respiratory problems, heart problems as well. So, what can you do to help with depression? Once again, get good sleep. Make sure you sleep very well. Get regular exercising. Exercising helps. Exercise, remember how we talked about the neurotransmitters in our brain when it's low? Exercise actually improves, it increases those neurotransmitters. It actually increases them, and that's why exercise is very healthy for the brain. It's very healthy for depression. Avoid alcohol, and smoking and any drugs. And very, very important, spend time with your friends, with your family. Spend time in doing things that makes you happy. You know, we all have to work. We have families that we support and take care of. We have a lot of responsibility. And when we get caught up in taking care of our responsibilities, sometimes we neglect ourselves because we're constantly going. And sometimes we go, when we're in that mode, we're in survival mode. We're just trying to survive. We're just trying to finish Monday to survive Tuesday. We're trying to survive Tuesday to survive Wednesday. But let's take some time for ourselves. It doesn't have to be a lot. Pick up a hobby. Try to find something and learn something new. Some people start knitting, sewing. Some people start drawing. And it's funny, adults, there's research that shows that adults that begin to draw and paint is very beneficial for the brain. Painting is not just for children. And pick up a new hobby you never thought you would like. You know? And it doesn't have to be something you're going to go spend money. Maybe start reading a book. Start listening to music more often. Start going to the park. You know? And these are things that maybe we could take time for ourselves, to enjoy ourselves. Us women, maybe we can paint our nails a little bit if you like painting your nails. Doing our hair, you know? Or just even something simple of just spending time with our kids and saying, okay, let's just talk. And just talk to our kids. And just buy blogs and just enjoy. And just laugh. And just laugh. This is very important. So, going back to why I wanted to discuss depression, goes back to this time of the year. There's a lot of people that's depressed at this time of the year. A lot of people that think about what we should have done. By this time, I should have bought a house already. By this time, I should have had a car already. By this time, I should have had a baby. I should have been married by this time. Or by this time, I should have had this amount of money in this bank. By this time, I should have done this. Or by this time, I should have had this job or this promotion. By this time, I should have been in school. Or even by this time, I should have finished school already. Instead of thinking about what you have not done, focus on what you do have. Instead of thinking, oh, I'm still renting an apartment, I should have bought a house already. Think about how it's a blessing that you have a place to live. Instead of thinking about, oh, I should have had a car by now, think about how it's a blessing that you're able to take care of everything you need to take care of without a car. Instead of thinking about, well, I should have had a husband or a wife by now, or I should have had kids by now. Think about how healthy you are and how you can still get those things in the next year. And think about how you have loved ones, your friends and your family, how you have friends and family that love you and care about you. That is what you have. Instead of thinking about, well, I should have finished school already. I should have had this amount of money already. Think about how you still have that capability and that ambition today to accomplish what you want to accomplish, because your ambition has not stopped. It's easy for us to focus on what we don't have, what we should have, what we did not have. But let's focus on the blessings of what we do have, the blessings of what God has already given us day by day. And this year for 2024, focus on the joys of this year. Some people also this year are grieving now because during this year they have lost some things. They have lost a loved one. They may have lost a husband or a wife. They may have lost a child, or they may have lost a job, or maybe even a relationship. Maybe they lost a relationship with someone, a friendship with someone. This is, a lot of people are grieving that. But for the ones who may have had a loved one that passed away, and it's natural and very normal to grieve, but also focus on the joys of when that person was here. Remember the good memories that you shared with them. And because of that, you have the memories today. And for the ones who may have lost a relationship, a girlfriend or boyfriend, or maybe a friendship, a friend that you were friends before and not friends anymore, just focus on those good times with that friend, because there was a time when that friend was good to you and they benefited you and you benefited them. So even in the midst of loss, which can be a moment of transition, meaning that God can be transitioning you to a next place for the new year. But focus on the joy and the happiness of what things were before that loss, in hopes that that will trigger joy and a new transition of what God has in store for you in the new year. So, and I also want to share this to everyone, that if you are not depressed yourself, there may be someone else, a friend, a family, a husband, a wife, a son or daughter who may be depressed. And we express depression differently. Be graceful. Be loving. Be kind. Even if you think the person doesn't deserve it, still be graceful. Be loving. Be kind, because you may not be having any depression yourself. You may not have, maybe everything is good for you. But for the ones who are going through depression, for the ones who are going through grieving and a sense of loss during this time, maybe they need that from you. And that's all I have to say.
Wow. Okay, I want to say good morning again and again. It's a pleasure to hear all that Miss Julie came to tell us. Nous comptons matin, n'a dit que ou sur réseau par la Pstars FM Radio Télévision. C'est toujours un plaisir chaque fois nous avons chance pour nous porter un bagage que nous connaissons qui a fort plaisir. S'il vous plaît, s'il vous plaît, si vous sur Facebook là, si vous voulez poser une question ou du moins si vous attendez nous dans la radio, ou capable de notre 661 303 60 59 561 303 6059. And then you can ask your question. And then if you're watching on Facebook, you can just type your question if you're willing to have something. In the meantime, I want to say thank you to Miss Julie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. And then, you know what, we can't thank you enough. Because it's like, to me, you did say everything. You said everything. Nous capables de dire que des fois, il prend nous temps pour nous comprendre une situation, spécialement pour nous-mêmes haïtiens, et il prend nous temps pour nous accepter une série de situations. I want to say, like, you know, for us and us Haitian people, it takes us a long time, and then, you know, others and others can tell us something, and then we just refuse, and that's why we don't like to talk to people about our health. Because we knew exactly there is some medication we want to do it. Des médicaments nous pas vle prendre. Gon série de bagay nous pas vle follow. Et là ça m'ba retirer en pile là nous. M'ba retirer en pile là nous. And I want to say thank you so much to Miss Julie. But my first question to you, Miss Julie, what is the difference between stress, depression, and anxiety? I know all of them relate, like, you know, it's like a pattern. All of them relate together.
Yeah.
But I want to know exactly. So if I want to do like classification, if I have to you know, put them, you know, one after the other, like 1, 2, 3. So which one I put one, and then which one can make more, can cause more trouble when you're dealing with that?
Mm-hmm. So, and that's a very good question. Anxiety, each of what you just said, anxiety, stress, and depression is 3 different things. They relate, but they're 3 different things. Anxiety is when you're constantly scared or worried about something. You're always worried about something. You're scared about something. You're nervous about something. That's what anxiety is. Anxiety lives on the inside of us. That's where it is. Stress is something that, stress comes from the outside. Okay? Something on the outside that is making us feel anxiety. Stress could be, you know, if we lose our job, if we're having problems in our marriage, if we're having problems at work, that is stress. But because of those stress, we may have anxiety. We may experience the stress because of that. And depression is feeling sad, crying a lot. That is what depression is. Depression is feeling sad. Anxiety is feeling scared. And when it comes to what can cause worse harm, either one of those things can cause harm. Both of them can cause a lot of harm, anxiety or stress. You can still have anxiety and stress, and they can both cause a lot of harm. And men and women express anxiety and stress differently. Sometimes men, they express their anxiety that they're angry, they're irritable, right? But women, we express our anxiety, we talk a lot, we cry, because men and women are not the same. And that's how men and women express it differently.
Okay. Okay. My other question is this: it's gonna be like since you say men and women are different, and I know there is so many, and then that's the reason I wanna say a little thing. That's the reason before you married someone or when you married someone, you need to know each other. You need to know yourself. You need to know your partner. This is the first thing. And second, you need to know we are not the same. So, and then how I'm gonna support in you since we're not the same. How I'm gonna understand your need, or when you acting up when you doing something and I see it's different, instead of me going harder on you. It's, I think, to me it's about to take a little time to take I know my wife or my husband or my boyfriend wasn't acting like that before. So what's going on now? Because sometimes we don't take time. We think, we are the same. We are the same. We are human, and then we all the same. Even from, I don't know if you agree with me, Miss Julie. Even for women like us, we all different.
Yes.
We all different from each other. Don't think. Yeah. Don't even think I'm taking the same way Miss Julie thinking. Even we are. I can say we can be like same. We go to same school. We have same major. We have same. You know, we is like we gonna put back identical, but don't even think we're gonna act in the same way, because everybody are different from the other. And then when you don't know that, it's gonna be a big fight or a problem all the time. Even with your friends, with other people, we have to realize that we're different from each other. So what you think?
Yeah. No, I agree. Absolutely. God made us differently.
Yeah.
That's how God made us. A man is a man and a woman is a woman. We're not the same. We may have two eyes, one nose, and one mouth, but we're not made the same. We're not.
Okay. My other question is, and I say thank you to you. Since you were talking about, the seasonal depression. So for the seasonal depression, is something we're gonna go away with the time, because after the season, because some people, they take the holiday like so serious, and I know it's a serious time, but they take it. Everybody take it, different way. It's the same thing. So the way you might take the holidays is not the same way I take it also, because we might take it in different way. Because some people, in during the holiday, they do like go to the shop and then use their credit card, expend so much money, and not even thinking like, the job I'm doing is the same job. The pay I'm getting is the same thing. They're not gonna pay me more because it's holiday. It's gonna be same thing, because I think sometimes we put ourselves in trouble. We put ourselves in trouble because we have no control of ourselves, or maybe we don't think, we just think about today. So what I can do today, let me just do it, and then like there is no tomorrow. But you always have to think about tomorrow if you don't want to put yourself in trouble, to me. So since you talk about the seasonal depression, so how that gonna go? If something we're gonna come in and goes, or sometime it stay, because it's depend what you're doing for the season. If you have to go away, what you're doing for the season, and then now is depend after you done it, and then you're gonna pay the price after, because now you do so many things that you're not supposed to do. Then you did it, so now you're gonna pay the price. What you think?
Yeah. No, I agree. Because if we're spending more money than we have, we're creating stress for ourselves. You're creating that stress. So instead of creating the stress, try to focus on not creating stress, because there's natural stress we can't control. So I know this is a time of the year. Everybody wants to spend money. We feel like we should spend money. We don't have to spend money, especially more than we have. You know, make a budget, but stick to your budget, and that's it. And that's it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the less stress you create for yourself, at least that's better because, once again, there's things that we cannot control. If you're driving tomorrow and you have a nail in your tire, you can't control that. But you can control that if you have a nail in your tire and because you're buying so much Christmas gifts, you don't have any money to go buy a tire because you were buying too many Christmas gifts and now your bank account, you don't have money to go buy a tire. That's stressful. You created that stress.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I wanna ask you a question about family issue. Do you know? We know there is so many issues and so many families have issues. Like, your pensée différent, you get tempérament différent, ou du moins one of them start acting up. So what you can suggest, like, to someone who experiencing family depression, since family are very important, and then sometime it's not like a store you just go and grab stuff, you go away when you have family, because there is so many things involving and inside the family. So you cannot just say, okay, if I come today I can go out tomorrow. No, there is more than that. So how can you what can you tell people who experiencing problem inside of the family or the relationship?
I will say, for people who are experiencing relationship problems and family problems, I would advise therapy. I know in our community, nous-mêmes nous pas aimer therapy. Okay, culturellement, that's not something we do as Haitian people. Si let nous get problem lakay, c'est lakay problem na dwe rete, right? Culturally, ou pa dwe, lot moun pa dwe konen sa kap fet an dan kay. Now, culturally, I understand that's how we function. But is that the best way to function? No. Mbaju al machine alaria go tell everybody your business. No. That's why I say therapy, there's two types of therapy. With health insurance, you can find a therapist through your health insurance. And you can find a licensed person, a person that speaks Creole, Haitian Creole, or Haitian, and they're licensed, and they can help that, and that therapist can help you with your problems at home. Remember, now these are licensed people, just like your doctor. When you go to your doctor is a licensed professional. He's not going to talk about your business to his friends. You think the doctor is at home with his wife talk about, oh, I have a patient today, he has diabetes. No, he's not. The same thing with a therapist. When you tell them your problems, they're not going to repeat it because they are a professional. That's what they do for a living. Okay? Or if you don't want a licensed professional, you can find somebody in your church. Many churches, they do have therapy. Okay? People who are therapists in their church or even their pastor. And you can seek therapy from them. But I would advise for everyone who has family problems, seek help, professional help, because we don't know the solution of everything. We need help, and it's okay to reach for help. But that's what I would say.
Yeah, as when you say that, I was talking to someone the other day, and I told that lady before, and I said that to so many people, before we had less suicide, less depression, because we were talking more than right now. Now I can say that when you have a problem, everybody's scared of telling their problems to someone, because they're always the same way you said it. They scared that, you know, you're not gonna call someone else and then to tell, and then, like, you know. And the other problem is with the réseaux sociaux, yo, ça vient passer. Sometimes we're too busy watching something. Sometimes you might go to a restaurant and with like friends and family. Everybody, they have like the telephone and they're watching something. They might be laughing like they are crazy. If you're not, you know. And then, so if I thought that was a good time because I'm with you, so I'm gonna tell you something what happened to me or something I would like to tell you. But the person is on the phone. You know, you'd be surprised, like a family go out to go to a restaurant. Mom has the phone, children have a phone, and father, the husband have a phone. So there is no communication. Yeah. Before we used to communicate. You go to you travel, you sitting by someone, you communicate with that person, and then that can open your mind and then make you forget about something you're going through. But now with the social media, it's like everybody doing something, busy themselves by doing nothing. And that's why when they have problems, the problem lasts forever until they do something wrong to themselves. So I remember, I'm gonna say public. One day I was talking to Miss Julie, and there was something between me and my daughter, and I says, she's not doing anything, she's not working. And Miss Julie told me, Jesula, don't say that, because you can bring more problem than you ever thinking. So I wanna say, like, you know, if I have my child, since I know my children or my child, they're not working, they're not doing anything, they go to school, and I see and I feel like, you know, something going on, something is like they acting up a way that I don't understand, and in my mind I said, okay, but they're not working, so how can I help them? Because sometimes they're just hiding inside the room, they don't want to talk to no one. So we don't know exactly, parents don't know, because we live in a time now, and I think maybe one day you might come with us with, like, you know, something for children, because sometimes parents are just don't know what to do, because the way they see their children, they can't really help them. Most of the time they speak English and then we don't. So how, instead of tell them, oh, you're not doing anything, so why you might have stress? So how can we help our children, and then instead of hurting them more, and to help them to get back to where they are?
And that's very good, because my parents, you know, my parents born and raised in Haiti. I was born in America. When I was growing up, maman ma papa m'te parle créole avec moi, répond yo dans anglais. That's how our household was. My Creole is not very strong, so of course moi parle créole, but there was a lot of culture barrier too. Now that I'm an adult and I understand things differently, I will say that, and I even tell my parents this now, that growing up, I didn't have to work. I had both of my mom and my dad at home. And because of their sacrifices, I have what I have today, and I am who I am today. But in the same case, that doesn't mean that my life, I didn't have stress, that I wasn't depressed. I remember going to school as a teenager, and then one of my best friends at the time, we had an argument, you know, and that made me feel sad, and that was a tough time in my life when I was a teenager. I couldn't tell my mom because she would not understand to help me. I would say that just because our kids, we make sacrifices for our children so that they don't have to go through what we go through. But They still have their stress. They still are going through things. And most importantly, they are a human being. They're a person. Who is your child? What's their favorite color? What's their favorite toy? What's their favorite game? Who's their best friend? Who do they not like at school? Apart from doing your homework, you know, you go to school, you do homework, you go to church, you do that. But who are they as a person? And it's like getting to know them. It's like getting to know our friend. And of course, we're parents. But to answer your question, I would say take that moment and talk to your kids. When they're in their, especially the teenager, when they're in their bedroom and they close their door all day, tell them to come out. But when they come out, talk to them. Like, talk to them. Say, how was your day? What did you do? Who are your friends? Engage in a conversation with them and get to know them. And make them feel comfortable to come to you. So if something were to happen to them, anything, it could be big, it could be small, that they feel comfortable to talk to you about that. And I know especially with parents Haitian, they work a lot because, once again, a lot of sacrifices are made. But when you come home, turn off the cell phone, turn off the social media, and let's talk. Let's watch a television show together. Let's watch a movie together and talk about the movie. Oh my gosh, so-and-so this, so-and-so that. And that's how I would say that would help with stressors. That would help bridge a communication, bridge a cultural too, and communicate that too. Because the Haitian culture, the Haitian culture is the best culture. 100%, it's the best culture. But remember, you're raising your children in America with American culture. Show them why it's so important of what you do, why you do what you do. And I would say that.
Yeah. You know what? I agree, because one thing, sometime as a Haitian parent, we have our all culture. But the thing is, we have to compromise with the American culture. We have to take the good and let's go the bad. And then you have to tell your child what is the reason, this one is not good. Because in America, they have good, they have bad too. We're not going to say that everything they're doing is wrong. They have wrong. It's the same way too as me, as what I'm talking to you now. I can understand our parents, the sacrifice they made for us to be here, right now. But the thing is, our culture is the best, but they have a lot of bad stuff too. Parce que des fois, nous plus strong, oui, nous faisons strong, mais sometimes we ask our children to talk to us, to be our friends, but we doesn't open the door. You see what I mean? We don't open the door. We have to open the door, like you say, by watching a movie. Always have engage a conversation. That's the only way we're gonna be friendly. We're gonna be friend of their friends. Because the other day I was thinking, no matter how friendly a parent can be, you will not nou pa jam ka remplacer yon zami ki nan même l'âge petit tout avec ou même. Li pa jam comme ça. Don't think you can replace their friends. No, you cannot. You still their parents. Y a toujours go ti bagay ke yo da peur pour yo di ou comme parent. Mais yo ka relo zami yo dil. Mais tandis que bon jon ka y avec yo, ou pral gagner plus information que son ta doit connaître que ça yon parent qui pas ouvri porte là pour ouvrir conversation avec petit li, ou apprendre plus bagay que le parent lui-même. I am the boss. So whatever, if I say right, left, And I said, you have to go, you go, you cannot stop. So I think this is something we have to work on it as parents.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Miss Julie have something to say. And I miss Mr. Priye so bad. I miss him.
Me too. Me too.
I like the way you say it. Me too. And then you know what? I will pass the message, and I know. I see his phone is on Facebook. I don't know if he's able to watch, but and I see his phone. He's right here. But the thing is, the way you say me too, because you know what? I told him yesterday, and I told him this is the reason I know. I was like, try to back it up a little bit. Just I like when he's here, so he make he make the show like more. Ni mette sel, ni mette piment, et puis plaisir guy. But nous content, we want to say thank you to you, Miss Julie. Avec tout cœur, moi dis merci. Et faut que moi dire que on connaît déjà moi aimer et me respecter et m'a toujours fait ça à raison de plus parce que ou très utile dans la communauté que nous vivons là. Et faut que moi dire que le monté abordé pour la première fois comme te dit moi besoin aide nous besoin aide dans la radio sans hésiter ou t'es juste d'accord. Et faut que moi dire que service ça nous pas de l'argent pour nous payer ni nous pas de l'argent pour nous payer. Mais ça n'a fait pour nous prier bon Dieu pour bon Dieu avoir plus connaissance et bénir de toutes sortes de bénédictions. Parce que gen bagay ou connaissance ou pas jamais qu'à payer pour connaissance. Ou pas qu'à payer pour connaissance. And I thank you so much. I know I take a good amount of your time. And I want to say thank you. And then if you have a conclusion, you can just say it, and then you can say hello and next time to everybody, to Facebook, YouTube, the radio, to everybody.
Okay. I want to say thank you again for allowing me to come here and to share with you. It's truly an honor for me, and it's a privilege, and I appreciate it so much. Jizzy, like when you asked me at work, and it was a privilege and an honor for me to say yes. It truly is. No, it was an honor to say yes. And just everybody when they call and they ask questions, and I answer the questions, and I love this community, and most of all, I love what this radio station is doing for our community. I know our community, because the Haitian culture is the best culture, and there's things that we can learn and grow from. But moving forward, our community, our people are learning more, are doing better, are becoming healthier, spiritually, physically, and mentally. And this is a blessing. This is one of God's tokens into the community for that. And it's an honor to be part of that. Thank you, everyone, for having me here. I want to say happy holidays to everybody. I don't want to say Happy New Year yet because we'll talk in the new year. But overall, I want to say happy holidays to everybody. And I wish everyone to be well spiritually, number one, physically, and also mentally. Absolute wellness for everyone.
Thank you so much, Miss Julie, and then we'll talk. And I want to say thank you to the Lord who give you knowledge, because there is so many people that go to school like you, and at the end they don't realize nothing. But God give you knowledge, and you use it for your community. And I want to say thank you to you. And hopefully, I don't know when, maybe next year, we're going to have another one. So we'll talk, and I want to say thank you to Mr. Priye for allowing me and allowing us to be here today. It's a privilege, it's a pleasure. And I always pray for God to bless Pstars Radio TV, because with this radio, people knows Jesula. Yeah, Miss Julie, si votre radio avait dit, si votre radio m'pas connaître parce que ça veut dire m'pas tout monde qui était vraiment c'est un monde qui aime parler avec monde mais m'pas comme tap sur réseaux sociaux the way I am right now. So m'dit bon Dieu merci pour radio et nous profiter pour nous dire merci et yon bonne année à toutes si là yo qui a moving forward parce que dans nom Jésus nous connaît bon Dieu a fait nous ouais année nous était seulement en 2 semaines exactement 2 semaines jeudi 16 comprendre exactement 2 semaines parce que on a 2 mercredis après encore 3e mercredi c'est à 1er janvier si bien comprendre. Ça veut dire que nous dit bon Dieu merci, nous baillons bon Dieu gloire et que ou était dans la paix ou était dans l'amour, nous yon supporter l'autre, nous yon aimer l'autre, nous yon encourager l'autre parce que nous dans un combat nous tout ensemble nous besoin aide tout le monde. Ça veut dire si nous était stick together, si nous d'accord pour nous longer bras nous bailler l'autre monde et c'est quoi d'après on a fait on a vinn fort, on a vinn strong. Mais if you can do it alone, I'm telling you, you're gonna fall. So we need each other. So moi besoin Miss Julie parce que connaissance li li utile moi. Et comme ça tout peut-être moi même gon bagaille que m'gè doit ka faire pour lui, il doit pas même connaître même. Ça veut dire le jour arrivé, il va connaître. C'est comme ça la vie est. Nous besoin l'autre. Nous avons besoin l'autre et puis nous faisons une chaîne de solidarité pour nous avancer. Moi remets nous Radio Pstars remets nous. C'était un plaisir pour nous être ensemble avec nous. Merci tout le monde et à la prochaine. Nous allons retourner tout à l'heure pour nous faire prière midi. Merci Julie, merci tout le monde. Bonne fête de journée. Merci.